If you were assigned the task of designing the perfect post-war American movie star, you'd probably come up with something close to Kirk Douglas. Consider the main attributes: the manly jaw, the dimple, and the crooked smile that could turn instantly into gritted teeth. Add to this his amazing athletic prowess, the cocky swagger, a full head of wavy hair, and shoulders that seemed wide enough to carry the entire film industry. Finally, there was his ability to move easily from one genre to another. He could play heroes, he could play heels, he could even play a bumbling romantic. But no matter what type of character he played, Douglas was always distinctly himself.
I'll try my best.
And you never wanted to cross him. He was, as critic Roger Ebert once said of him, quote, an actor who could easily freeze the blood when he wanted to.
Stay for as long as I can keep my hand in this flame. Here. He's so brilliant.
Douglas grew up in Amsterdam, New York as Izzy Dembski. Born December 9, 1916, the son of poor Jewish immigrants from Eastern Europe. He was always interested in acting, though he supported himself in a number of ways, including a summer spent working at a carnival as a wrestler. After being sent home from the Navy with war injuries, Douglas began his serious pursuit of an acting career. He had shined at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York City, and it was his friendship with classmate Lauren Bacall that launched his career. Bacall introduced him to producer Hal Wallace, and the rest, as they say, is Hollywood history. He'd go on to win 3 Academy Award nominations plus an honorary Oscar in 1996.
I can't get up and speak before people. The words stick in my throat. I'd rather get drunk. I do get drunk. I did get drunk.
Douglas made his film debut in The Strange Love of Martha Ivers, a 1946 drama from Paramount Pictures. He played a surprisingly mild character, not exactly Spartacus or Vincent van Gogh, but a young district attorney caught in the middle of a shady situation. The film was directed by Louis Milestone with cinematography by Oscar winner Victor Milner. The music score was Miklos Rozsa, one of the most revered composers in the business. For a young, untested actor like Douglas to land in such a prestige picture was a rarity, but Douglas was more than ready for the challenge. He stole every scene he was in.
Did she tell you how she stood up in the police station? How she looked at the man without batting an eye?
In The Strange Love of Martha Ivers, Douglas plays the browbeaten husband of a power-hungry woman played by Barbara Stanwyck. The arrival of an old friend from childhood, Van Heflin, threatens to unveil a dark secret from the past. Douglas gets 4th billing in the credits, but he is the character you'll remember. His acting style seems modern and fresh. He'd never play such a weakling again, but he showed the versatility that would be a trademark of his career.
Thin line, the one between life and death.
He'd soon start playing his more familiar tough guy roles, but he was never afraid to portray different facets of the human condition. A mere 2 years later, Douglas showed his more humorous side in My Dear Secretary. It's a surprisingly lighthearted film from writer-director Charles Martin, an independent player who specialized in romantic comedies. Douglas plays Owen Waterbury, a best-selling author who hires a young woman to be his secretary. The woman, played by Lorraine Day, is baffled by her new boss's crazy lifestyle and quickly leaves the job.
You've got the wrong girl, Mr.
Waterbury tracks her down and promises to stop his playboy ways if she'll marry him.
I love you. Marry me.
It's the perfect screwball plot, and Douglas is surprisingly good here as Waterbury.
What? What are you doing there?
Wash these keys.
There's a great cast behind Douglas with Irene Ryan as his feisty housekeeper and Keenan Wynn as his klutzy roommate. If you aren't familiar with Douglas's comedic roles, My Dear Secretary is a great place to start. In 1952 came The Big Trees, with Douglas as a ruthless timber baron named Jim Fallon. Though the role seems more in line with the rugged, angry characters for which he was known, Douglas claimed in his autobiography that he'd only appeared in the movie to break his contract at Warner Brothers. Yet, it's an underrated film with a strong supporting cast, including Alan Hale Jr. and Edgar Buchanan. As Fallon, Douglas is tearing up a California forest with his eye on the giant sequoias. The problem is that these old trees mean so much to the local Quaker people. It's fascinating to watch Douglas's loyalty veer from his own interests to those of his new Quaker friends. As Fallon, he's a conniving manipulator, but he ultimately has a change of heart and sides with the underdogs. It's the sort of headstrong, rebellious role that seems tailor-made for Douglas. No one did it better.